Hello, welcome back to the channel. Today we are solving another puzzle. And today's puzzle is the Hanayama Laby puzzle. It is a level 5 out of a possible 6 on Hanayama's own difficulty scale. Now from the looks of it on the box, it doesn't seem like it's going to be that complicated. Level 5 seems a high rating for this sort of puzzle. I'll probably eat my words, I have done many times before, but there's only one way to find out if that is going to be the case this time. As usual, we're going to solve the puzzle, or attempt to solve the puzzle. We're going to attempt to reassemble those two pieces. And then at the end, as always, we will rank the Laby puzzle on our leaderboard, if you like, from hardest all the way down to easiest Hanayama puzzle done so far. But without further ado, let's crack on with solving it. Okay, so here's the Laby puzzle, and yeah, as expected, we've got a maze on one side, a maze on the other side, and looking at this bit here, we've got can we see that on the camera, a knobbly bit here and a knobbly bit here, and obviously they have to make their way around the maze, I am guessing. The mazes itself, they seem quite simple. Like there's one straight line down here. Obviously it's not going to be as simple as that, but there's plenty of different routes out by the looks of it. There's a dead end in there. But yeah, plenty of ways out on both sides. So yeah, I guess it's a simple case of sliding them around here. Oh. We're nearly there already. Oh, that's interesting. So we've got, well, I'm guessing that it's going to be harder than that, but we've already got one of those knobbly bits out. Yeah, on this side we're in a dead end, so we can't go that way. Ah, potentially. Oh no, wait. We can't go back. I was thinking, maybe the secret is going out this way, but obviously this gets in the way here. We can't get into the maze from that side, which is good because that means that the variety of possible scenarios, if you like, is smaller than expected, or smaller than that scenario would have given us. It's also obviously not possible to swap these round, so the bit with, let's say, you'll be able to see them easier there, I think. So this bit obviously has to go in this side, and this bit has to go in this side, which again sort of cuts down the variety of moves that we can do, if you like. And puzzle-wise, and side-wise, this one seems to be more straightforward because there's only 2 exits and there is 3 entrances, if you like. Whereas on this side, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 exits and 3 entrances. So I think it's going to be easier if we start with this side. 3 entrances, 2 exits, and if we work from there. It's quite hard getting the orientation right. So like if I'm trying to move this one here and I find there's something on the other side that's blocking it. When I turn this side, it's quite hard to figure out which way I need this piece to go to get to where I want to on this side, if that makes sense. So if I want to move down, but I get blocked somehow, obviously if I turn it around here, it means I have to get this piece up, but it's taken me a little bit of time to get used to that orientation. I'm fairly certain this isn't going to be the right thing because it's been relatively simple. We've gone through this gap and we've come out of this gap, and we're quite a way away from anywhere coming out here. So I was thinking, we'd have to go all the way around to there or out of here somehow. But to get around here, we'd have to come back on with this thing. So I'm thinking, is there a way we can sort of come back on a different pit? But looking at that, there to there, that seems too big a distance to get through there. So we're not going to abandon this position completely, but I'm not sure if we're going to get anywhere with it. So we've managed to get here, so the furthest side in, knobbly bit has come out, and then we can get it into just this one gap here that has a little bit of a line and it's a dead end. Now the fact that that is there is telling me that it's there to be used. I feel like it's there to be used, and I can't quite figure out when or where just yet. But I feel like we're quite close, to be honest, because we need to get up into this gap here, but we can't come up because there's no space because of the position of where this one is and the fact that this one is outside. So here I think we've managed to flip it around somewhere. So I think before we were coming at it from this angle, but here if you use a tiny bit of force you can flip it around the other way. I feel like this might be a good thing. Is this it? Hey, we've done it, we've done it, we've done it. I think that flip around in the middle, which requires a little bit of force, is the important part. I knew we were in sort of the right area, but yeah, that's brilliant. Now I just need to not lose track of how these two pieces go in. But yeah, there we go. The Laby puzzle done in under half an hour. And we're gonna immediately have a go at putting it back together. So they went on here. And to be honest, I can't fully remember the route because of having to swap sides so many times in terms of, right, that bit can now go here and that bit can now go here. So let's see where we end up. Here is where we swapped that. And there we go, back to where we started. Yeah. The Laby puzzle, done. So there we go, we managed to solve the Laby puzzle in not too long of a time. It was around 25-30 minutes, something like that, which for a level 5 puzzle is actually pretty quick. There wasn't too many surprises when solving it. It was a case of guiding the two bits through those mazes and then out and then just reversing that position. Part of the easy part of putting it back together is just remembering where it comes out. If you remember it where it came out, then putting it back in and working your way around is relatively straightforward. The difficult bit about this, which took about 10 to 15 minutes of getting used to, is having to sort of flip from one maze to the other maze and sort of, right, I've got to this bit on this maze, now I'll flip it over. Oh yeah, I can actually get to this bit here. And it was that swapping backwards and forwards and reorientating yourself and thinking, okay, I'm trying to go this way and then I'm trying to go that way. When you flipped it over, it was like the reverse direction as to what you thought it was originally, if that makes sense. So that was really the challenging part about the Laby puzzle. Level 5 difficulty, I'm not so sure about. I'd say maybe a level 4, possibly level 3, in my opinion. Which is a nice segue into where the Laby is going to rank on our own leaderboard. A big part of the problem for most of the puzzles is knowing how to solve it. And for this one, for instance, you know almost from the word go how this one's going to solve. You're going to have to guide it through that maze and out the other side. But for instance, the harder puzzles, the ones that we've got on the top shelf, most of them, like for instance the UFO puzzle, part of this, the problem with that one is knowing how it solves. And with that one, even when you know how it solves, it's still then very hard to do. But it's that distinction and how early you know what to do or how you are going to do it that dictates its difficulty, and it dictates how long it's going to take. So for instance, the hexagon puzzle is very similar to the one we've done. You know exactly how you're going to have to do it. You're going to have to move 2 of the pieces around so that the third piece has enough room to fit out through the slot. There's no mystery with that. There's no figuring out how to do it. You already know how to do it, and it's a case of doing it. And the Laby puzzle falls very much into that same category. And in terms of its ranking, is actually very, very similar to the hexagon puzzle. It's a little bit tougher because you've got to flip from top to bottom and swapping sides often to reorientate yourself. But if we look around the hexagon puzzle, above the hexagon puzzle is the donut. And that is a puzzle that you don't know how to solve when you first go into it. It's not obvious how this one's going to separate. And you have to do some digging, you have to do some trial and error, you have to figure it out how it solves and then solve it. And some of the times you don't even realise how it's going to solve, and you actually solve it and then you figure out how it worked after you've actually done it. Anyway, after all that blabbing, the Laby puzzle is actually going to sit between those 2 puzzles. So we're going to sit between the hexagon puzzle in here, the level 4 hexagon, and the level 4 donut. And that doesn't quite make the Laby puzzle the easiest level 5 we've done. The easiest one that we've done is the spiral puzzle. We've also got the level 6 news puzzle down here. Oh, and we've also got the level 5 marble puzzle in here as well. So not quite the easiest level 5, but on the grand scheme of things, a relatively easy level 5. So there we go. Thank you very much for being here. Let me know in the comments below what you thought of the Laby puzzle. And if you haven't done already and you want to see me solve more of these Hanayama puzzles, plus the step-by-step solutions to all of them, then click my face here to subscribe, and I will see you next time. Peace!